guys, welcome to the Long Legs review.
We're reviewing Long
I
Legs!
just said that.
I should have brought my long legs! Birthday girl, it's almost birthday.
So Nicolas Cage plays a serial killer.
Yeah, he's a serial killer. He doesn't
we don't
directly murder people. The whole movie, it's kind of like...
We don't see him murder anyone. We kind of just follow the FBI agent that's supposed to be kind of psychic, but kind of not.
Yeah, the first terror's like, you're psychic?
And we just kind of review his crimes
You're
that he's
psychic.
already done, and she's like trying to catch him. Well, they're trying to catch him, and she finds a connection. She finds that he knows who she is because he kind of leaves a note for her or whatever, kind of steps on how to maybe catch him.
Yeah, and the whole murder thing is basically that just one day, specifically on a birthday of a little girl, in the family.
Yeah.
Because, he only targets families that have kids, or I guess specifically little girls that are about to turn 9. And then on that day, the father just ends up killing the whole entire family.
Yeah.
And that's happened probably 7, maybe 9 times throughout the whole town.
And
now they need to figure out why is this happening? What's going on? And then it's just a bunch of scenes of her trying to figure out what's happening, and then
she's really kind of awkward. I will say that. She doesn't talk much, and she's kind of just standoffish, I guess.
I mean, a lot of people in this movie act weird, but I think I know why. I have a theory.
But we'll get to that.
Which is probably right, because they kind of just basically say it. Because this whole movie is just basically there has to be more to it. It can't just be what this is, face value. But anyway, the whole... Basically, she's looking through fucking documents and shit, and then eventually they figure out who the guy is, and then they catch him before he is about to leave on a bus.
And they take him to a holding room, I believe it's
interrogation.
Called. Interrogation. And,
you can see his face.
Yeah.
The cool transition where they're looking at a mask, and then there's a fucking... You see his face. You fully see his face. The whole time they're hiding his face, though.
And giving you small glimpses, real fast.
Even though before that they did... Didn't they have a flashback where they seen his face fully? I'm pretty sure we've seen his face fully.
Sort of, but just a frame or two here. It was a glimpse. It wasn't real pronounced, I guess. But we'll get into our opinions and whatever after this. But he says a bunch of cryptic shit. Says "Hail Satan" and by smashing his face on the fucking table.
Yeah.
And the FBI, the leading FBI agent, was basically just well, all those families died for nothing. We got nothing. We're fucked. He brings up something about voodoo and black magic. And then earlier we were... the only person she really talks to is her mom. And her mom's a Christian. And she also has not been taking her pills or some shit like that.
Well, I mean, she progressively gets weirder, because the first time you hear her, she seems fine.
Yeah.
She's I'm just looking at stuff. And then she gets weirder and weirder. And then Longlegs dies. And then she just goes full on just psycho. And then
they show up at her house, and
they're looking for her, and then she shows up in a car, and another detective is in
the car,
and then the daughter
goes in the
house, is in the house, and then the mother's outside, and she shoots the other detectives in the face.
Yeah.
And then with a shotgun, and then she comes out, and she's like, "Mom, what the fuck?" And then
she's pointing a gun at what you think is a kid, but it's actually a doll, like a life-size, like, weird doll.
And it turns out the life-size doll is actually a doll of her, the detective.
And so she shoots the doll, and this black smoke comes out, and there's like a metal ball in there, and she falls to the ground.
Yeah,
like there's something wrong with her.
Gets affected by something, like something happens.
And she wakes up, and she goes to her boss's house where there's supposed to be like a birthday party for a little girl.
Yeah, before that, she gets a phone call saying that she needs to go there.
Yeah.
And she goes there, and then everybody's just acting weird.
And basically
the little girl's just sitting there, just with like a doll that looks like her, and
her mom's sitting there in a nun costume, kind of.
Yeah, because she's a nun.
And the dad's like talking to the wife, and they're acting uber weird. And this is supposed to be the lead FBI agent, and he's like, "Fine, we'll go fucking cut the cake." And then they go in the kitchen off camera, and the main detective is standing there with a gun, and she's like all freaked out, and she's like, what the fuck?
Like, she's not doing anything, and then the guy comes out, you just hear the guy murdering the wife.
And he's all bloody and shit, and he starts coming at the lead detective, and she shoots him. And he goes down, and
then her mother is like,
"I'm gonna keep doing it.
Get away from the fucking kid!" And then she shoots her mother, and then she looks at the doll, and they try to get away.
And she doesn't have any more bullets to kill the doll.
She's gonna shoot the doll, but it doesn't happen. And then it pans to Long Legs in the interrogation room, and he's like, "Hail Satan!" And then the movie ends.
Yeah.
Now
our opinions on the movie.
And theories. The whole thing, spoilers too. So basically,
it's kind of supernatural.
The whole thing's supernatural. Basically, what the whole thing is that basically Satan is making both Longlegs and the detective's mother put dolls in these households, and when the dolls go in there, because they're imbued with like this metal, they have a metal ball in their heads that is imbued with, like, I guess, black magic from the devil or whatever, somehow, that Longlegs got. And basically it would, as soon as it gets there, it would immediately just start affecting the kid, affecting the parents. And as soon as it's there for a certain amount of time, it gets full hold, and then the devil basically makes the husband kill the entire family. And then, so here's when it gets even more weird. I'm pretty sure at the end, the whole plan was basically to get the detective to basically be infected with the devil thing, even though she already had a doll.
And the mom was like doing all these killings to prevent that, I guess?
Yeah, preventing the devil from taking over, even though it turns out that even though the mom, because the mom, I'm guessing, was trying to save the detective.
I guess.
Because she thought if she shot the doll, it would prevent her from being, possessed. But that phone call she got was the devil being like, "You're gonna miss the birthday party."
Because Longlegs is already dead.
Go. Yeah, so there was nobody else. It was just basically the devil. And also, you can kind of, when you go to the house, you can kind of hear, like, the dad. He kind of sounds like the devil, too. And the same thing with the mother. She, before she dies, she sounded like the devil, like, "No!" And whatever. So my whole thing is basically that it's basically too late that this has happened so many times that everybody in the town is basically infected, and now the devil is just basically trying to, you know, cover all their bases and basically just infect everybody, because the whole point of it, of killing people, and then it wasn't just to affect the families, but it's to affect the cops, the people that show up at the doll, because that's just a way to get people to the dolls. And I don't know why the fuck the devil decides to choose dolls to affect basically the whole world with his influence. Because honestly, if you think about it, it's not just the devil possessing people to kill them for his fun. It's basically to slowly corrupt everybody in the world with this fucking plot. And honestly, it works because all he needs to do is just get a fucking doll into a house, and then he controls everybody in the house, and also all the cops that show up to investigate it. Because at one point there was like a house that had a doll underneath the fucking floorboards. Now why the fuck would they have one underneath certain floorboards unless it was to secretly fucking affect people? So like basically that's the whole plot of it. Basically the devil is just trying to possess everybody in the world slowly, so he can just probably get everybody to commit which is honestly a pretty scary thought, because it's like, it's too late. There's nothing to do. Even if you destroy it, if you're affected by the influence long enough, it doesn't matter. Nicolas Cage was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I thought the whole plot was pretty good. You know, Nicolas Cage is just screaming. He's like, "You want to be saved? Mommy! Daddy! Help me!" I'll say.
Yeah, that was... He did do a creepy job in this. But for me, the movie kind of fell off as soon as they, like, picked up Longlegs.
So they arrested him.
I wanted to see Longlegs being more creepy and, like, doing the killing. I didn't want to see the aftermath, because it just kind of felt like a waste.
I mean, granted, he does die in the, like...
The last 30 minutes?
And the last 30 minutes, like, after he dies, we have, like, maybe 20-something minutes left of the movie, because it's really not that long after.
Well, you can see, like, for me, you can see his face, and I was just like, the movie kind of fell off, like, creepy factor right there for me, because I was just like, it was a lot more creepier when you were just, like, showing the sides of his face, and, like, weird shots, like, you know, from his nose up.
Yeah.
Or down, I mean, and far away shots. That would have been way more creepy. And like if we seen Nicolas Cage, like doing the murders, and the supernatural thing didn't work for me. I was just like, this just, I don't know. I wasn't into it. He really liked it though.
Yeah. I mean, it was, and also there's some good bit of violence. It wasn't as much as it would be in a normal horror film, but there still was a good bit. It was mostly kind of like a mystery type movie to wonder what the fuck's going on. But then they kind of just, at the end, they kind of just say what happens.
Yeah. Like, I immediately guessed, like, the opening scene starts off with, like, Longlegs stopping at this house, and he's talking to this little girl, and I was like, that's the FBI agent. I already knew.
Because it turns out Longlegs was actually underneath her childhood home the entire time, because one day he just showed up and the
mother,
like, he threatened the mom to help him, because if she didn't, he was going to kill her and the daughter. So she decided to do that, and then she slowly just started, you know, getting influenced by the devil, and then finally she became the new Longlegs.
I give it a 5. A 6, I'm sorry. I give it a 6 for his performance, but...
I give it a 7 for his enjoyment. I'm dreaming.
But he liked the movie, like I said, a lot more than I did. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was Long Legs, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys in the next one.
See
Bye.
ya.